opportunity to visit with 5 of our MEGS alumni. We have Miss Gail Parker from class of 1965. We have Miss Dorothy Lake from class of 1965. We have Miss Sharon Diane Childress from class of 75. We have Marie Campbell Childress from the class of 1951.
52.
Oh, sorry, 52. My apologies. And Mr. John Morrow from the class of 1965. So let's give a big round of applause. So I thought what we would do is first have each of our visitors introduce themselves, maybe tell a little interesting fact, and then we'll go back and forth with our questions, and so we can hear their stories. As they answer any questions. We start with Miss Gail Parker.
Okay. My name is Gail Parker. I'm a graduate of the class of 1965. I can remember when I was in the 5th and 6th grade in MEG, and it's a lot different from, I'm sure, today's class. But one thing I am glad, I would like to say is, whatever you do, please listen to your teachers, because as I was coming up through MEGS, I did not like math at all. But every year I had a math class all the way through to geometry. I had algebra twice. The only class I didn't have was trigonometry, was because I wanted to graduate high school and I didn't think I would make it. But guess what? I ended up working with numbers when I really wanted to do something else. So with all those math classes, it really did help me in my career, because that's what I ended up doing. So try to grasp something from every class that you do, because when you become an adult, you really don't realize how important something that you learned in school is going to help you in your career. So please remember that.
Let's go ahead and hear from Miss Dorothy Lake.
I'm Dorothy Lake, and I'm a graduate of the class of 1965. I'm very glad to be with you and sharing with you today. I'm not going to talk long because I was here on Monday, and I want some of the other members who are here today, this is their first time, to be able to share a little bit more of what happened when they were here, when they were students, in terms of their introduction. Thank you.
Let's hear from Ms. Sharon Diane Childress.
Greetings. My name is Sharon Diane Childress, and I believe, the 3rd generation of my family that attended this school. My grandparents, my mother, and myself would make 3 generations. When I started MEGS, I started in the kindergarten. And at that time, it was an all-black school. It was no other groups here but African-American children. And it was, the teachers were pretty much all African-American teachers. And they, at that time, I had my 1st grade teacher to the 4th grade. So by the 4th grade, I was attached to my teacher, you know, because I had her from 1st to 4th grade. And my kindergarten teachers, what I want to share with you guys is during the 70s, we had a movement of desegregation. That means when everything has to be integrated in schools and, you know, that kind of thing. So I was in the middle of a civil rights movement, and by the time I got in the 9th grade, all my friends that I had went to school were from K to 9. We were all separated. You know, imagine like everybody here is friends at the table, and then you get word that you're gonna be split up. So we felt really sad because we were gonna get split up from my best girlfriends and stuff like that. So at that time, half of us stayed at MEGS, which I wasn't one of the ones that stayed at MEGS, and I was very sad because I didn't want to go and be separated from my friends. But what ended up happening was we went to East High School, the other kids went to Stratford, and some stayed here. So my memories of MEGS school, to sum it up, was my beginning education. It was friendships, it was lovely teachers that were committed to education. And then, like I said, in 71, 72, we had segregation and we were split up. So that ended my days at Meigs High School. Anyone have any questions?
Well, maybe we'll first, introduce the other two, and then we'll start with questions.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Let's go on to, Ms. Campbell Childress from class of 1952.
Hello. Yes, I graduated from Meigs in 1952 in the 9th grade. So that was like junior high school. And when I left Meigs in 1952, we were like bus, but we rode the city buses to Pearl High School. So my other 4 years, 3 years, that's where 4 years, that's where I stayed, from the 9th to the 12th grade. But the foundation that Meigs School had given us, it was just, it was just unpackable. And they were like, the teachers, we looked forward going to school, because we wanted to be, I think Miss Wolfoff was my first grade teacher, and she had taught my mom. So, once they got a job, they just stayed, and I guess they loved the job. But I know that Meigs School was the foundation that helped so many kids and everything. And I got some pictures over here that I played basketball. I've always, I played on the girls' basketball team and on, high school. But we won the we were city champs in the 9th grade.
Ooh.
That was all of the junior high schools. So if you get a chance, look at those pictures over there.
So right here.
Oh yeah, my graduation picture. You're not gonna believe, you thought we were bridesmaids. We all got bouquets of flowers. And I'm in the 9th grade. And some of the young men, there was more men and boys in the class at that time. But we were asking them later on, and we got older, why they wasn't on the picture. And they said, Mr. J.K. Pedway, he was our principal. And he told them, said they couldn't have a picture made unless they're wearing a suit. So those, and the parents, like back 52, it was just hard times. And they just couldn't afford a suit. So those 3 boys, they went and worked and got them a suit for graduation. So I thought I'd share that.
Yeah.
Let's hear from Mr. John Morrow.
My name is John Morrow, and I graduated in 1965. And right now, you're looking at 3 of us who are like brothers and sisters. We started together. We started school in the 1st grade together. We've been friends for 66 years. And they will tell you the same thing. It's all, during that time, you were like brothers and sisters, because you played at everyone's home. And the teachers here were like an extension of your family. They took interest in you. You just wasn't a paycheck or anything. When you left home and went to school, it was like continuing being at home. They took an interest in you. And when you went to somebody's house, it was like your parents, because you felt under their guidance and everything. And you prayed. Like if you went and played and somebody's mother told you to behave and you didn't, then she whooped her child and you. But see, now you would end up getting a second whooping, because you prayed that they didn't call your parents to tell them that I had to whoop John Lewis because they were cutting up. See, you got a whooping at home because you embarrassed your parents for them having to tell you to to make you mad, cause you know, kids then were seen and not heard. In other words, now I can't say, well, a lot of times, but nowadays, kids take part in the conversation, they interrupt, you know what I mean? But that was called home training back then. That's the reason I say you were seen and not heard. You sit in the room and grown folks were talking, you could play and go on, but you wouldn't interrupt. And, okay, cause I could go on, but one thing, let me share this with you. When you study and doing your homework, although you have a class that you might not like, do the best you can, because somewhere down the road, you will need it. I love math, I hated English. I love history, you know, but hated English, I don't mind telling, you know what I mean? But you need it all. So if you have a subject that you don't like, still do the best you can, because somewhere down the road, you might need it.
Let's go ahead and, have some questions.
James.
James, if you'll stand up.
Yes, please.
I have two questions. The first is, how did you get to Meg's every day? Like the bike, bus, etc.
Walk.
I'm sorry.
No, seriously, on a serious note, because Meg's encompassed this entire community, the East Nashville community. The majority of the students, there were one or two whose parents brought them in cars, but the majority of us walked.
I would like to say, I lived on the other side of the tracks. If you know where Cleveland Community Center is, anybody know where that is? I lived on the back side. There were homes over there before the park was there. My house was next to the railroad tracks almost. We had a field that separated us. We walked that every day to and from until finally we got a city bus, but we had to have tokens to ride that bus to go from our pickup, like the yellow school buses that some of you ride on. Would pick us up and bring us to school, but we had to have a token. And then finally, I think when we were in high school, we finally got a yellow school bus that would pick us up. So for the main part, we walked most of our life to school. Yeah.
And my other question is, what would you improve on the world today?
What I would like to see in today's world is a lot more tolerance, a lot more respect for one another, and to appreciate the differences. Our history dictated that we were segregated from other groups. Therefore, a lot of our blending and getting along with other people occurred after we graduated from high school, in workplaces and other things that, we experienced. So my thing is, always be inquisitive and always be tolerant of people who are different, people who always don't think like you do or worship like you do. Be open.
Okay, River.
So
Stand up.
you two, I heard that, which one of you were the ones who graduated class of 65?
We three.
Were you guys like friends in school?
We like brothers and sisters,
That's cool.
right to today.
Yeah, still are.
Okay, right here. Stand up.
Stand up, please.
Did you have to leave your house early to walk very far?
I think we had to leave about, when we were walking, we had to leave about,
7 o'clock. Well, no.
7:30.
7:30.
because school started at 8
8.
or 8:15. So we had to have enough time to walk to school, but we were not allowed to walk on the railroad tracks. And even though I lived beside the railroad tracks and knew the schedule of every train that came through there, we were allowed to cross the tracks to come on this side, but we could not actually walk on the railroad track. And you know the safety of that, you know, kids, you playing and stuff, you may not realize that the train is coming. And for a while when we were in high school, we did do that, but there was not the interstate that you see over here that goes across the tracks, but there was actually a bridge. And we had a truant officer, the principal and assistant principal who would stand on that viaduct and see who was walking up the track. And we did do that one day, and we did get in trouble for doing that. So once they saw us, we had to be either careful or not do it anymore.
Nathaniel, did you have your hand up? Okay, Nathaniel, stand up.
So what was the best or like
Shh,
most
boys.
meaningful
Shh.
memory you had here?
Oh. I've always been interested in athletic, and I always played sports, whatever it was. That's what I used to do. And I'm still bowling now at this age. And we were very, very limited. And we had, well, parks and recreation. That's where I ended up. I worked for them for 36 years. And the old community center that used to be here.
Right here.
Yeah, it used to be right there. In fact, I had a church, my church was the opposite of the center, Payne Chapel.
Mm-hmm.
Was there. In fact, it was houses everywhere around here. Everywhere, all this open space. It was houses everywhere. I lived about 3 blocks from the school, and it would take us about, 10 minutes. But, you know, everybody walked everywhere they would go, you know. We didn't have cars, transportation, like you all do. Y'all so privileged.
What's your bowling score average?
170.
Oh, wow. Wow. Chloe, and then right here.
Sure. How did you battle against discrimination?
Well, I think a lot of times, one of the things that we did, first of all, our teachers always instilled in us to accept each challenge. Whatever came your way, then you accept it or you deal with it. They instilled in each one of us a good sense of who we were and what we were about. And that's what we always had to take with us whenever we went out with them.
Education and knowledge. Because our parents always stressed, get a good education, you can get a good job, and you can conquer the world. Knowledge is something that cannot be taken away from you, and it's valuable.
I didn't, the only thing where I lived, our house was the last black home. Right across the street from me, where the whites live, and around the corner. So the only thing that separated us was an alley. And so my parents knew all the white families that lived around on North 8th and North 7th. And the black parents knew the kids, you know, all the whites. So if one of us got in trouble, then they told our parents, and if one of their kids got in trouble, they told their parents. So we were the last house that the kids went to next, and right across the street from us, the kids went to East. So I didn't have a problem, you know, integrating after segregation, because segregation really came at the end of like our school year. So we didn't really have a big problem here in East Nashville so much. Integration.
Integration.
Integration, I'm sorry.
For me, it was a different experience altogether because things had changed in the city during '71. So this had been an all-black school, and all my classmates were all black. And then suddenly they passed a law that it had to be desegregated. And at that time, it was very scary for my class because there were people outside, newspapers, people protesting it and saying racial slurs, and we were scared to move. You know, we were all looking out the windows this way towards the street because it was cops, it was people on buses and things saying blah, blah, go home, we don't want the segregation and stuff. So it was a different day for the class of 75 for us because everyone else up to that point had been in a predominantly black institution. And then from my time, we represented change and things changed. And it changed drastically because now we're exposed to other groups of people. And for us, we didn't have a problem with that. We were just scared of the politics of it all. And were we gonna be safe? And because we never had experience going to a school with, other than our race, you know? So it was a very scary time for us because we didn't understand what was going on, as well as kind of like we were being separated from the nest.
Okay, Fred.
What was one tool that we have now that you wish you had at Meg's?
Laptop.
Computer.
Yeah.
I'm in the slide rule era.
They don't even know what that is.
They don't even know
No.
what it's like. That went,
You cannot add or subtract if you do multiplication and division. A slide rule is about this long, and if, I'm sure a lot of architects and people who work for maybe the space program still use those tools. But we had to learn how to use one. Don't ask me how to use it now, but I did have to learn how to use it.
it was mandatory.
Yeah.
Okay, any fifth grader have a question? Okay, right here.
How did you like get around the school knowing where everything was in your like first few days of school? Did a teacher like help you, or did you use help from like other older students?
Well, since the layout of the school was relatively simple, small. Now, for those of us who attended for 12 years, that was a no-brainer for us because we had been here. The elementary portion of the school was down on this end here. The upper grades, when you got in high school, it was on this to my right, and the gym was where it always was. The gym is still in the exact location. So I think when you transitioned, when you went through the 7th grade, there were big changes because, you know, when you started changing classes. But basically, you halfway had a good idea where everything was, and the only people sometimes who may have issues would be students who transferred in or, you know, transferred into the school.
Right here, young lady. I forget your name. Yeah.
Were you ever walk to school where you ever judge or anything?
No. For one thing, you know, you were walking with a group, and I had other people in my family that were walking with us. So, no, we didn't really have a lot of people judging us because we were all, you know, we had been here together, even from the 1st grade, and we were all different. You know, some of our families were a little bit better off money-wise than we were. And like me, you know, I was never skinny or anything. I was always a chubby girl. So, but none of my friends, anybody ever said anything. You know, they never made a difference in me. I never, you know, we were kids and with each other and stuff, but as far as walking home, we were all together. Only thing about it was, with me, I didn't like walking by myself because I was afraid of dogs. And so that's a good little walk, and like if I had to stay after school for a practice or something, had to walk by myself, that was it. But as far as us really kidding one another or bullying one another, no.
All right, Ashley and then Kate.
So this is kind of for you because you said that more stuff happened because of the desegregation in school. So did anybody ever like do anything racist to you because of your skin
Name calling. Name calling.
What area in the school changed the most?
Can y'all remember the old school? They was babies, they don't.
They weren't even alive.
Okay. Have they seen, I wonder have they seen the pictures of the old school? The one that was tore down.
Maybe, I don't know. Anybody seen a picture? I have.
You had an old section here that was the original school. Then later on, they added the elementary part of it, the newer portion. So if they had, you know, and the newer portion was dedicated to, you know, the elementary school and the old school and the high school. And I'd like to touch on one subject that she was talking, I know you gotta get out of here. Back then, it was a neighborhood school. So by saying neighborhood, everybody played at everybody's house. Everybody knew, you know, it wasn't who was rich, who was poor and everything. We were all like one big family. If she had something, we had, you know, we looked at neighbors.
Okay, Kylie?
This will be the last question.
Okay.
And then we'll stop. Thank you.
What is one thing that you see today that you wish would be more like the past?
I would like to see everybody get along together in school. You know, don't look at any color, don't look at any religion, just make friends, come to school, get your education. Just accept everyone for who they are. Because when you get to our age, you might wish that you still had some of these friends, that you're gonna know some of these people that, even though you're gonna be separated. But always remember the people that you went to school with, and if you see them out on the street, no matter how low they are in life or how up they are in life, always remember to recognize that person, you know, because we all want to feel good about ourselves. So always remember the people that you went to school with. Whether you remember them by name, always recognize them, always.
Create a bond. Don't just like one little, you know, you or her might be friends and everything. All of you, the whole entire class should bond together and be friends.
So much.
Give him a hand. Great job.